Stop scrolling. What do you think about all the invisible speed stuff? hmm Do you have one of his books?
I don't. I was looking at one. One of my buddies has it, so I was looking through and like, oh, that's pretty good. I'm probably gonna get one eventually. I was talking to him about getting one of those setup stations too. So I'll probably do a combo and get both.
Yeah, yeah. Get him to put WB on it.
Right? So I asked him for it and see if he does it.
He'll get it done. That's a great segue. So, what are the plans for Wallie Builds? Maybe tell people what you got cooking.
Well, right now we're just kind of focused on just doing the builds right now. I just released. Well, we've been working on the setup for the associated cars quite a bit. Working on trying to get those things super dialed in the rough for the average customer. I know Spencer and Ungaro and all those guys make the car look pretty good, but sometimes to the average person, it could be a little bit of a handful. The car kind of is a little or rotates a little faster than most like, but I've got my buddy Scott, who is more of a sportsman driver. I've got Keith, who is my mechanic at the races. He runs 40 plus, and I'm kind of making the setup fast enough to compete in the more pro and intermediate classes, but then also easy enough to drive for the sportsman 40 plus guys. One of the cool things that we did at Silver State was one of my other buddies that kind of pits with us, but doesn't run AE cars. He runs Mugen. Struggling all weekend through qualifying, couldn't get his car to really go around the track, and he just crashed everywhere. Wasn't having a good time. He said his truck was fine, but the buggy he was just struggling with. So at dinner, like right before main day on Sunday, I was joking around, like, let me just take my practice car and just throw it down. He's like, all right, I'll do it. Like, I mean, you can, but you have no practice. You don't even know how it's going to work. He's like, yeah, I trust you. I don't really care. The weekend can't get any worse. I'm like, okay. So he's qualified 16th in the B main, or no, 14th in the B main. And he ended up going from 14th to 2nd, getting the bump, and then starting 16th in the main at the end of the day, he ended up getting 4th at the end of the race. So he went from 14th in the B all the way to 4th in the A. And he said the car was the most easiest thing to drive. And for having zero practice and being able to do that, I was pretty happy with that. So I think we have a pretty solid setup right now with the associated cars.
You know, my next question is, what type of things are you doing to the cars? Can you say?
Yeah. One of the biggest things I think I was on the podcast a while back. No, it wouldn't have been, because that would have been like 23 or 24 when we talk about this. I run the MBX8R rear hubs on the car. It runs the number 3 hub towers are a little bit taller than the associated ones. And there are 2 other things that I noticed. It actually brings the rear end in a little bit, so it shortens the track width. And then it also has a degree of toe in the hubs. So another thing for anyone that's running a Mugen car, if you put the little tab, which would be, I think, a mud scraper, you can mount to it. It's a little tab in the back of the going right. The little tab, if it's on the front side of the car, the hubs are on backwards, and you actually take toe out of the car. If you put them on the back, it actually tows in the car. So what I'm doing now is I run the extra degree of toe on the outside, and then I run 1 less on the inside. So I still run 3.5 degrees of toe, but it frees up the inside of the car, and it goes through the bumps a lot better and makes a little bit more grip without sacrificing all the toe. So you still get the toe that you want, but it frees up the rear end a little bit, and it kind of skims over the bumps a bit more. Shock package. This is something I really just found on Saturday, and when I was over at the Ramona track down in San Diego. I switched to a 4-hole 1.5 piston, front and rear, and then I'm still messing with the oil a little bit, but right away I knew that this car is gonna be a lot easier to drive. I handed it off to my buddy Scott, who is a sportsman level driver, and he liked it right off the bat, so he ordered the pistons the other day. But it just makes the car drive. It's super good through the bumps, but it also it allows you to drive the car super hard. It was the hardest I could drive the car because usually I run a 6-hole piston. I mean, I've been running the same piston for 4 or 5 years now. The 6-hole 3x135, 3x145 split in the front, and then a 145 and a 1.5 split in the rear. And I really never changed it, but after testing the TRC 4x15 pistons, it was like night and day. I was like, I don't know why I didn't try this earlier. This is crazy. So more development. I'm actually going to the track tonight to go test that more at the dirt. They got a new layout in, so we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna have Steve Harris come out and help me out a little bit too. Those are the two biggest things.
Okay. How far away do you live from the dirt? Just sorry.
About 45 minutes.
Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Right in traffic hours, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've seen people struggling with the Associated in the like people like regular people like me, and a lot of them getting upset with the car and things like that. So it's good to see you guys actively working on them. You're like a intermediate guy. You know what I mean? You're like the regular guys out there doing it. You're a fast intermediate driver. You've always been testing and all that, doing all that type of stuff. You've been doing this for many, many years as well. So it's easy to I can see. Now, do you relay those results to people like an Associated, or are you just doing this for yourself?
I do it when they want to listen. A lot of times they don't. Since I am the intermediate guy, they're like, "Oh, it's okay, but you're just doing it for yourself." And I'm like, "Just go try it." Like the funniest thing is like the Mugen rear hub thing. Steve and I put those on like 6 months before anybody else tried it, and we had been running it. And there was a day, I think it was at one of the TNR race or DNC. Brent came up to me and was like, "Why do you have Mugen rear hubs on your car?" And I was like, "Well, it does these things." He's like, "Oh, okay, well, keep testing on it and let me know." I was like, "All right." Like 6 months later, I think it was Jermaine. He's like, "Hey, have you tried putting the Mugen hubs on your car?" I was like, "Dude, I've been doing that for a year." So
They use your
I don't know.
they use your idea anyway.
Yeah. So it's funny, but yeah, I just focus on myself, and if they want to try it and see where it's at, then all the power to them.
Yeah, I mean, you got to make the car work for you, right? So yep, you like that type of stuff. You're a tester, doing all that. Going out to the track
Another
lap.
thing that I'm working on too. That's
Oh yeah.
yeah, design a new kind of it. We have a FWB and RWB chassis. So
Mhm.
basically, FWB is like your regular Mugen car, about the same weight bias. The RWB takes everything in the center minus the steering servo and shifts it back 10 millimeters. Personally, it's not for me. I think if that was the right way to go, everybody would have that chassis. Like S-Works, X-Ray, Mugen, all those guys would have the same thing. I'm not a super fan of it. But instead of moving everything to the back, I wanted to try and take a little bit of weight off the front, put that weight on the back. So I designed a new battery box for the RC8 that uses the hump style batteries, and it goes right in next to the motor where the receiver and the transponder usually are, and then the receiver and the transponder up in the original battery box. And so far, everything that I've tested has been much better. The car has a good corner speed, but it's got more grip and more stable like on throttle. So if I give it throttle, it goes out of the corner straight, no problems. So that's another thing I'm going to continue testing tonight and see where we get on that.
So you're just making little changes, like trying to get the weight more centered, less weight in areas and stuff like that. It's funny because as I watched that video of Pecco and showing the setup station, they have a balance station on it too. So I never even thought of that. Like it's just 2 pins, and if you get the car perfectly balanced, when you hit the table, it falls to either way instead of just one way. So when everybody thinks of innovation in RC comes in very small things, right? And tinkering, like what you're doing. People think it's going to be a complete, like from zero to like a blank piece of paper to something completely new.
Right.
It's not enough for that, right? Not enough money in
Nope.
the industry for that type of stuff. Number one. So, but you know what I did see? this guy sent me some pictures of an Infinity E-Buggy that he made. Right, he took a Nitro car and made an Infinity. I got it. 3D aluminum printing. I was blown away. Like he made a motor mount for it. I was like, no freaking way.
Yeah,
So,
you can do titanium, you can do aluminum, you can do all kind of stuff. My buddy Aaron, that used to work at Associated as well, as one of the designers, designed his own F1 car, so it's got 3D printed plastic on it. He's got carbon on it, and then also the bulkheads and other supporting parts are all 3D printed aluminum.
how far do you think we're away from possibly having a competitive 3D printed car that's strong?
I don't think it's that far. I don't think it's that far away.
I
I
think
think we're
when
getting pretty close. I mean, AE's done testing with a full 3D printed B7. That's how it came to be what it was. They did all the testing with 3D printed parts.
dude, I think when I'm sure there's somebody out there who's a 3D printing fanatic who's going to say it's already possible, right? Well, I'm not, but I think that's going to change things. Like people's going to be like, the companies are going to have these nice big 3D printers, and they're going to be like, all right, we don't need to mold stuff. We just change it like that, and that's going to give those companies that ability. But it's going to be the guys like you that have something similar, maybe not as big, but to make personal stuff for you. 3D printing is really going to change everything. Just like AI is changing everything, well, 3D printing. Now you can combine AI and 3D printing, make yourself a human or something like that.
Yeah, because I've got the old Bamboo Labs over there in the corner.
Mhm.
That thing is solid. That's probably one of the best 3D printers you can get right now for under $1,000.
It's going to be interesting. It's not far out. I think less than 5 years. I think less than 3 years. Like where you can 3D print an
I
arm.
think it's closer than that.
Could
Because
be.
even that one right there, that's just your basic like layer printer, but they've got like laser sintering ones that they even have what do they call it? It's like a liquid and it's like solid. I think it's a gel or something like that.
Mhm.
Like it actually looks like a molded part. It's pretty crazy.
Ooh. Mm. Well,
It is
that's
a
a
little
great.
bit more brittle though. At least the one
Okay.
that I saw.
That's my thing of it, strength wise. None of these things are going to be as strong as molded parts, right? Because
Mhm.
cars are pretty strong nowadays. Pretty strong. Some of the hits I've seen people
Yeah.
take, they're pretty strong, and I've taken. So, all right. So Wallie Builds is doing that on the 8 associated cars. Obviously, you guys are still building cars. I know that's up and down and stuff like that.
So you can
There
kind
you
of
go.
see that's the 3D printed box.
Mm,
So yeah, I mean it's solid. I've ran this thing quite a bit actually, and it hasn't cracked or anything. So that was kind of cool.
interesting. Interesting stuff, dude. Printing out your own battery boxes.
Yeah.
Like Mayaka's E-Buggy. They send you a file. You can get a file to print out a 3D printed box if you want it. I think, or anyone. There's various different ones for it. So, pretty cool stuff.